childhood was pretty different from the average person. While most kids were doing homework after school, I was playing outside. And while most kids were sitting on a desk at school doing schoolwork, I was sitting on the couch doing school or at the dining room table. And when most kids went to their teacher with a problem, I went to my mother or father. This is because I was homeschooled. From my experience with homeschooling, I feel that I have a pretty good understanding of it. And I also feel that there are many things in the public school environment that can be damaging to children. Today, I will be discussing the problem with the public school system, what causes those problems, and the potential solution of homeschooling. To start off, I'd like to talk about the harmful aspects of public school. Public school has many problems. An article written by Gail McDonald says that researchers found that 70% of American high school students do not get enough sleep, falling well under the recommended 9 to 10 hours. This poor sleep can lead to worse depression and anxiety in these teens, and obviously worse time in school. Public schools are often exposing children to dangerous situations. According to a survey, more than 1 in 4 students say that their school has been affected by gangs or drugs, and just 43% reported no drug use at their school. These numbers are quite shocking. And in my experience talking to some of my friends who have been in public school, they've experienced some of the same similar things, even as bad as school shootings, which is extremely dangerous. Next, I will talk about the causes of the public school system being so poor. And there are a few reasons why I think the public school system is not very great. For one is poor funding. Most public schools are not getting enough funding from the government, and poor funding can lead to worse education for the students and less pay for the teachers as well. Poverty and geographical location also contribute to the poor public school system. According to an article titled "Poverty and its Impact on Students' Education," nearly 1/5 of students in the U.S. are attending a high-poverty school, living in poverty, or both. These high-poverty situations could be affecting students' education. In fact, I surveyed some classmates earlier this week, and when I asked them what they would change about the public school system, one student said, quote, "How schools are based on location. I excelled in a school in my terrible neighborhood, but as soon as I was transferred to a school in a much better neighborhood, I was 3 grades behind everyone else." The fact of the matter is that richer neighborhoods get more funding, while poor neighborhoods get less, and this is a huge flaw. Another reason for the public school system is teacher salary. Teachers are simply not valued enough in our school system and in our society. The average salary for public elementary school teachers has decreased by 5% between 2010 and now. Also, teacher tenure could be contributing to teachers' lack of effort. So now that we know more about the problems with the public school and some possible causes, we can discuss a solution. Homeschooling can be a solution to some of the negative aspects of public school. For one, homeschoolers are just as smart as public schoolers. According to an article by Israel Wayne titled "Benefits of Homeschooling," students who are homeschooled by a parent with a high school diploma or less score 25 to 30% better than a student whose parent has a master's degree on teaching certificate. Homeschooled children tend to have fewer problem behaviors as well, better communication skills, better self-image, less peer dependence, and a greater ability to interact with different age groups. Earlier this week, I surveyed some classmates about their opinions on homeschooling, and I asked the question of if they would ever consider homeschooling their children. 5 out of 6 of the classmates who responded said that they would not, and all the reasoning was that homeschooled children have poor communication skills and social skills, according to their opinions of what homeschooled children are like. And while this can be true for extremely sheltered homeschoolers, this is just not true for the majority of homeschoolers. In fact, in my experience, I've met more socially awkward public school kids than I have homeschoolers, and I find that homeschoolers are much more comfortable talking to a much larger age demographic. The parent also has some control over what the child is exposed to, and the parent can develop a curriculum for the child that best fits the child's needs. The main reason my mother decided to homeschool me and my siblings is because she didn't want us to be exposed to things that could be damaging, such as bullying and drug use. Children also get more freedom to do the things they enjoy. When I was homeschooled, I had much more time in my day to do things that I wanted to do. I could play with my siblings outside, I could read a book that wasn't required for a class, and I feel that because of this, when I actually started going to college here at Waubonsee, I was only 16 years old, and I was able to explore more topics that I was interested in, which really helped me to discover the career path that I'm going towards now. And now at just 20 years old, I am about to graduate college, which is I feel that I'm separate from my peers in that way, while most students my age are a year or two into college and not there yet and not sure of what they want to do with their lives. So, to conclude my speech, I have given some information on the harms of the public school system, the causes of those harms, and some information on homeschooling and how it can be a great solution to the public school system. I do understand, however, that homeschooling is simply not practical for some people, especially families who are struggling financially. But if possible, homeschooling is a great option. If one is able to do it. I hope that this information could persuade you to consider homeschooling, or at least open your mind up to the possibilities of it. Thank you.